Now, there is real confusion in Zimbabwe tonight about whether there might be a coup underway. If it were true, it would mean the end of the world's oldest head of state, 93-year-old Robert Mugabe, who's been in power for over 37 years. The reports came after military vehicles were spotted earlier on the streets of the capital, Harare. Even now, nobody seems sure if this was a coup or a routine drill. Tonight, the UK Foreign Office noted the reports and confirmed it was monitoring events. But whatever's happening, something is clearly up in that country. It is all about who will succeed President Mugabe. His wife, Grace, is a front runner, but to maximise her chances, Mr. Mugabe has knocked one or two rivals out of the way. The commander of the Defence Forces was angered by the sacking of a vice president. And there's now a war of words, at the very least, between the army and the ruling party. Where is it going? The BBC's Shingai Nyoka reports from Harare.
Military vehicles moving around Harare today, sparking a flurry of social media activity and speculation of a coup. So far, it seems the speculation was wrong.
That we come before you to pronounce...
And this is the reason for the tension.
Reality.
This extraordinary press conference yesterday was the first indication that Zimbabwe's military could be prepared to break loyalty with its commander-in-chief, President Robert Mugabe.
We must remind those behind the current treacherous shenanigans that when it comes to matters of protecting our revolution, the military will not hesitate to step in.
They're unhappy over last week's sacking of the longtime party member and Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The generals believe the former Liberation War Party is purging itself of former combatants, a group to which they belong, in favor of the younger generation.
It is pertinent to restate that the Zimbabwean Defence Forces remain the major stockholder in respect to the gains of the liberation struggle. And when these are threatened, we are obliged to take corrective measures.
Zimbabwe's independence came 37 years ago, and Robert Mugabe has been at the helm. He's the world's oldest sitting head of state, and many believe his power has been derived from the military and war veterans. They have said they would not salute a leader who did not fight in the war against colonialism. Elections with the opposition have been disputed and often violent, and in return for their loyalty, they've been rewarded with lucrative mining deals, such as this concession in the Marange diamond fields, once jointly operated with the Chinese military. But their position is threatened now, and it's because of her. President Mugabe's wife, Grace, is 52 and never fought in the war. She's unapologetic about it. At this rally a few weekends ago, she volunteered herself for an executive post. She's tipped to be appointed vice president in December. Sharp-tongued, she's often scolded the military and war veterans for holding the party to ransom. Grace Mugabe has the backing of the youth, who say they will defend the party against the military's threats.
This statement is therefore issued without regret, fear or compunction. Defending the revolution and our leader, the president, is an ideal we live for, and if need be, it is a principle we are prepared to die for.
The curtain appears to be falling on Zimbabwe's liberation war past. War veterans were arrested last year for calling President Mugabe a dictator and protesting Grace Mugabe's ascendancy.
We agreed that it is this national army which developed from the guerrilla army to a national army which should protect the interests of the people, political, economic, and otherwise.
Analysts believe the standoff with the generals is a test of President Mugabe's power.
We've had 2 days past, and we've heard nothing from the president. So this is looking like a sign of weakness, and obviously Mugabe is considering his position at the moment. Well, we have this conflation between party and state. If you recall that Mugabe 2 years ago specifically thanked the military for rescuing him and ZANU-PF party from defeat in the 2008 elections. So Mugabe's been quite comfortable with the interference of the military when it's been on his behalf. Now that the military looks like interfering in politics, against him, he's now being a little bit more uncomfortable about that.
As the politicians squabble, the economy is taking a tumble. And as ordinary Zimbabweans who are the hardest hit, food prices are rising and unemployment is at 90%.
The standoff continues between the military and President Mugabe. The president hasn't commented on the general statements, but he has the power to fire them. The country waits for his next move.
Chingai Nyoka there. Interestingly, of course, the vast bulk of Zimbabweans have never known any other leader than Mr. Mugabe, nor indeed has the young nation of Zimbabwe. So what is going on now? Joining us live from Harare is freelance journalist Rashweet Kundu, who was the director of the Media Institute of Southern Africa, Zimbabwe. And here in the studio with me is Alex Magaisa. He was a chief advisor to the former Zimbabwean Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai. Mr. Tsvangirai, you'll remember, was the opposition leader before agreeing to join the Mugabe government